Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our presentation for this evening, 5 Great Reasons to Pursue a Career in the Skilled Trades. My name is Jennifer Bernsteel, and I'm the Program Manager with the Business and Education Partnership of Waterloo Region. And our goal, we're a local charity, and our mission is simple. We're helping young people discover and explore their career options. Before we get started, I would like to acknowledge the land that we gather on is the land traditionally used by the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Neutral people. We acknowledge their enduring presence and deep traditional knowledge, laws, and philosophies of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today. I would also like to thank both school boards, the Waterloo Catholic and Waterloo Region District School Boards, for co-hosting this event with us. Our goal is to help you better understand career opportunities in the skilled trades and how interested students can explore these options while they're still in high school. So our event will have 3 parts. First, our feature presentation will take place with Jon Callegher, Executive Director of Job Talks, a research and media agency that focuses on Canadian workers. Jon is on a mission to ensure that every student is aware of the personal, emotional, health, security, and financial benefits of skilled trades careers. Following Jon, we will have a joint presentation about how OYAP works from our local school board reps, Leonard Bombaco from the Waterloo Catholic Board and David Pope from the Waterloo Region District School Board. Finally, you will have an opportunity to ask questions, which you are welcome to type at any point during the presentation in our Q&A. We will be answering them at the end, and please keep them as general as possible, and we will do our best to get to them all. But if we do not, we are going to provide links after that you can reach out to the school board reps for further clarification. For privacy issues, I just want you to know that your video and audio will be turned off throughout the session. And when we're finished tonight, you'll have lots of information that you'll be able to take back to your high school guidance counselors to receive further options and opportunities. Without further ado, I would like to invite Jon Callegher to join me on camera. Jon is on a mission to share his research about job satisfaction in the skilled trades in an age when such jobs are in high demand. Jon is the Executive Director of Job Talks, a research and media agency that focuses on skilled trade workers. As a leading researcher of job satisfaction in Canada, Dr. Jon Callegher has interviewed hundreds of tradespeople and surveyed thousands of workers. He has been the project director for more than $1.5 million in research partnerships. Jon is also a professor in the School of Marketing at George Brown College in Toronto and has a PhD in sociology from the University of Waterloo. He is a professional keynote speaker who has discussed his research on radio, television, and at conferences internationally. He has been published in the Globe and Mail and is a published author. We are very privileged to have you here tonight, Jon, and we look forward to hearing your presentation.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I really appreciate you and the Waterloo Catholic and the Waterloo Region School Boards putting this evening together. It's wonderful to be spending time with all of you, and to students, I'm really happy to be spending this evening with you, and maybe some parents as well. And if your parents aren't there, bring them along as well. I think they'll benefit from hearing this message. I'm going to have some slides, okay? I'm going to have some help from some slides. You're going to see them on your screen in a moment. As Jennifer pointed out, I'm going to be talking with you all about 5 great reasons for pursuing a career in the skilled trades. And as I hope you heard, you heard that I'm a researcher. I study people in all kinds of jobs. And I did address the community a few weeks ago, particularly parents. And I asked this question that I'm going to put on this screen for you, because I think it's really important that we just revisit this question. It's what makes a good job? Okay, you're a student watching right now. Instinctively, you just shout out to the screen. What's your answer to that question? What makes a good job? You know, I've asked this question to many groups of people, and there's a good chance that you said money, right? Maybe even first you said money above anything. And when you said money, you meant good money, and also maybe a job that makes you happy. That's a good chance that those were your top two answers. Maybe you said a few others, but what I can tell you, students, is when I ask this question to parents across Ontario, the answers are probably similar to yours. A good job for many parents across Ontario is one where you make good money, have good pay, and when you're happy, or put differently, you're fulfilled. For parents, above all, this is a word cloud. The larger the word or phrase, the more common the answer. For parents in Ontario, what they want for themselves and they want for their kids is a job where, yes, you get paid well, you're fulfilled, but also make a difference, advancement opportunities. You have security, flexibility, benefits, low stress, good culture, work-life balance. But when it comes down to it, everyone, good pay and fulfilling. Why I'm repeating that is because I had the privilege of interviewing and surveying so many people across the country. And through my years of research, it's become very clear that there is a group of people who are called skilled tradespeople, have to have very fulfilled and very good paying careers. And many people, including parents, some teachers too, and yeah, many students simply were surprised to learn this. Many people who are in the skilled trades themselves know this to be true, but no one else actually did the study to prove it. And I also think this causes sort of a lack of understanding of skilled trades, and in part because we aren't exposed to the skilled trades and for example, the media and movies, not a lot of television shows unless you're looking at a specialty channel that has skilled tradespeople in those main characters. And when I ask this question, can you name a skilled trade to the general population? The top three answers that I get are carpenter, plumber, and electrician. Carpenter, plumber, and electrician. Those are the top three answers, and welder is number 4. Everyone, there are more than 140 skilled trades, and they can all be explored in high school. So if you're a high school student listening, watching and listening, now's the time to really, pay attention to some opportunities that are available to you. You're going to hear more about that when I'm finished from Mr. Bombaco from Waterloo Catholic and Mr. Pope from Waterloo Region. Really, and if you're in elementary school, you want to pay attention to some of the opportunities and different types of skilled trades, and I'm going to go through many of those today. So to keep it simple, the skilled trades in high school are broken out into 4 major areas, and it's through a program called the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. We have what's called motive power skilled trades. This is one major area. For example, an auto body and collision damage repair, someone who fixes up cars. Okay, automotive service technician, someone who takes care of vehicles. Marine engine technicians, working on those motorized watercraft, and truck and coach technicians, working on the larger vehicles. I'm just going to say here that anytime you see an image and a job title, everybody, that represents an interview that I've conducted, okay, with someone in Ontario, a young person in an apprenticeship program, or they completed a program and they are now full-on skilled tradespeople. When I'm finished, I'm going to give you links where you can find, or a link where you can find access to these videos and many more. I've interviewed more than 100 skilled tradespeople, and I'm making all those videos available to you. Motive power skilled trades, and also services skilled trades. Did you know a chef is a skilled trade? It can be focused on in high school. A sous chef, that's a helper to a chef. A pastry chef, a hairstylist, that's a skilled trade. I've met so many young people across Ontario, including from your region, who are going to hairstyling competitions and doing really well. This is Lina, actually, at the bottom. She is a professional hairstylist. She charges a lot of money for her talent and her skills. She's from Kitchener-Waterloo. She's a very successful business owner in your region. She started in high school. Okay, doing competitions and succeeding and really making a living out of her passion, and she's hiring people. There's Alyssa. She's a horticultural technician apprentice. She's working at Niagara Falls Botanical Gardens. She loves working with plants, right? Services skilled trades are very broad. Are you interested in working with kids, child and youth worker, child development practitioner, early childhood educator, all included in services skilled trades? So you remember the first area was motive power skilled trades. We have services skilled trades. Here's another massive area, huge. the industrial skilled trades, everybody. Tool and die makers, hydraulic, pneumatic mechanics, industrial electricians, welders, very in-demand skilled trades in Ontario, and, very, very well-paying skilled trades as well. And the last area, the fourth area we could say of the skilled trades, huge as well, is the construction skilled trades. This is a massive area of opportunity. The construction skilled trades are so broad. We have, for example, this is Andrea. She's a general carpenter. She started in a program in high school called the Specialist High Skills Majors Program. Then she moved into the OYAP program, and now she's with a company that builds luxury homes as an apprentice. Andrea is going to be a full-on general carpenter in her early 20s. Can you believe that? And guess what? She's a construction worker, and she's proud of it. Loader operators, tile setters, insulation installers, all examples of workers in construction-related careers. There's residential construction, home building. There's infrastructure construction, connecting the homes, and ICI construction, which is institutional, commercial, and infrastructure is where you are helping people build these giant stadiums and large bridges and other enormous structures, everybody. But you know what? There's a lot more, and I want to try to match up some interests, everyone, with some skilled trades. So you can see on the screen here, I have many interests that might apply to some of you. And as I read them out, I would really encourage you to just think about you right now. And I'd like you to just say to yourself, yeah, I might be interested in that, or no, I'm not interested in that. I'm going to read out each one. Anyone here interested in a career where as part of that job, you are making beautiful things? How many are interested in that? How about helping grow food? Anyone here interested in fixing things? How about making things old new again? Restoration, restoring things. Who's interested in that? How about a job where you wake up in the morning and you're going to make people smile, guaranteed every day? How many would want that in a job? Any food prep, culinary enthusiasts here, preparing delicious food? Who's interested in that? How about working inside new homes that are being built or renovated? Or how about working outside homes in some fresh air, sunshine? Who wants the power to control temperature? What do I mean by that? You're going to find out, I promise. So think about, try to remember when you put up your hand or you said to yourself, yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. Let me show you some skilled trades where those interests can be realized. For example, anyone here said you're interested in making beautiful things? Well, tile setters do that as part of their job. They create art, do tile work and mosaics on walls, floors, in museums, new office buildings, new homes that are being built. Cabinet makers. I just interviewed a very talented young cabinet maker. She takes designs from clients, right, and transforms them into beautiful cabinetry that people like to celebrate. You're all going to have that experience when someone says, come on over, I want to show you my new kitchen. In most cases, that was custom designed and installed by a skilled tradesperson. A cabinet maker made that beautiful things. That is many opportunities to make beautiful things in skilled trades, to apply artistic and creative skills. Helping grow food. There's Alyssa again. I mentioned her earlier. She's a horticultural technician working with plants in Niagara Falls Botanical Gardens. That's Isaac in the bottom right. He is an agricultural equipment technician. He gets to test drive those giant machines you see on the left. The wheel on that machine is as tall as my head. And he gets to operate and test drive them to make sure they're working so that we can have food on our tables in Ontario, because he works on farms. Okay. For anyone that said they're interested in fixing things, welders not only create by fusing metal together, but they also repair. Handyman or handy persons, probably better. They go to different environments. They get work orders. They have a lot of variety in their jobs. Okay, a lot of change. Restoration, restoring things, for anyone who said that's of interest to them, making things old new again. Brick and stone masons, bricklayers. This is Celeste in the top right. She's a brick and stone mason. She goes to different historical buildings, old churches, religious institutions, and restores them for future generations to appreciate. And then she gets to move on to the next building to restore it. So some local travel in her job. She really likes that, and she enjoys working outdoors, making people smile. Some jobs do this more than others, everyone. I guess we have to acknowledge it. And of course, hairstylists, they wake up in the morning and yeah, they know they're gonna bring a smile to people's faces multiple times a day, multiple times an hour. Same with pastry chefs. You're making tasty treats. Of course, you're gonna make people smile. I would also argue so too do chefs and sous chefs preparing delicious food. You're going to make people smile as well. And working inside homes like insulation installers, carpet installers, I could say more. There's so many careers working inside of homes, tapers, drywallers, hardwood floor installers, so many skilled trades professionals required to do the work inside homes and also, of course, outside as well. There's Andrea again. She's a general carpenter. She likes working outdoors. Panel installers and framers, they put the wooden bones, you could say, outside of these structures, these homes, so that all the work can get done outside and inside. And of course, controlling temperature. Here we go. Refrigeration and air conditioning mechanics. We have all kinds of refrigeration systems around us. We don't always see them, but they need to be operational and someone needs to install and repair them. And Jean-Pierre at the bottom, he is an HVAC technician. What does HVAC stand for? Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, right? Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Isaac goes into homes when they're being built. Imagine a new development of homes, and he installs the HVAC, the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. And so he gets a little bit of variety doing that in different homes and moves on to the next community, some local travel too. All right, so everyone, I'm glad I was able to show you several new types of skilled trades, maybe ones that you haven't heard about, going beyond some of the more traditionally known skilled trades. But you know what? There's more. There's more. So let's do one more round, okay? How about anyone here interested in a job where, you be at heights, you're comfortable, maybe you're an adrenaline seeker. Anyone interested in that? How about a job where you're no thanks to being up high, digging the earth down low? Anyone interested in digging? How about giving power, electric power to communities? Who's interested in that? How about controlling water, the sustainer of life? How about taking care of vehicles, working with cars and trucks? Who has that interest? Maybe you'd rather be behind the wheel instead, driving big vehicles. Are you interested in that? Maybe using special tools, applying hand-eye coordination, precision. Or how about the world does need organized people. How about coordinating projects? Or maybe being in charge, supervising people. Anyone interested in that? All right, same as last time. Try to keep in mind where you put your hand up or said to yourself, that's interesting to me. Here are some jobs where those interests can be realized in skilled trades. Being at heights. There is a job called an iron worker. This is Jamie. She's a friend of mine. She gets high up in skyscrapers and stadiums. She puts what you could say is the steel bones into those structures so that they don't fall down. Jamie's a friend of mine. I'm proud to call her my friend. She represents as well a percentage of women in the industrial, construction, and motive power skilled trades. So outside the services skilled trades, Jamie represents the percentage of skilled tradespeople in construction, industrial, and motive power who are women. What percentage do you think that is? The answer might surprise you. It's just between 4 and 5%. That's it. But if you happen to be a young woman watching right now, don't hear that and be discouraged. Instead, take that as an opportunity to kick down doors, break down barriers for future women to enter these so-called non-traditional skilled trades. For women, you're going to find yourself being offered scholarships, bursaries, opportunities to give speeches, networking opportunities. There's a huge movement in Ontario to support young women to enter skilled trades. Tower crane operator, look at Stefan, look how young he is. He has this enormous responsibility of climbing up into the tower crane, right? And moving things from one side of the construction site to another. I'll just take a moment to remind everyone again, anytime you see a job title and a person, that's a video thumbnail. When I'm finished, I'm going to give you a link where you can access them, but you might want to jot it down. I want to watch that video with a tower crane operator later. That'll make it easier for you to remember. Digging the earth, TBM, tunnel boring machine. How do we have subways and waterways and more? Someone operates a very sophisticated machine called a TBM, a tunnel boring machine operator. Slowly bores underneath the earth so we can have the things that we take for granted underneath us. A foundation drill rig operator. They dig huge columns and insert huge columns into the earth so that we can have stadiums and large bridges and other big structures. For anyone who's said they're interested in giving power to communities, I've met many power line technicians, electricians. Every time I meet an electrician, they somehow explain that they appreciate the chase of getting the power back on when it's off. And it reminds me that skilled tradespeople help people too. They want to get the power back on so people can get on with their lives. But it also reminds me that in a crisis, maybe when people's homes are destroyed, who do we call upon? We often think of healthcare workers and first responders. Of course, we call upon them in a crisis. We also call upon everybody, skilled tradespeople as well, to help others. Electricians to get the power back on. Brick and stonemasons to fix people's homes. Carpenters, okay? Roofers, okay? Concrete and drain specialists, and more. I also call upon, by the way, plumbers, okay? And you want to be surprised if you watch these two interviews with these plumbers, you're going to learn that plumbing does not have to be all about unclogging, right? We tend to think of plumbing as unclogging. Plumbing can be all about, or mostly about, installing new pipes and new piping fixtures in new construction projects. A lot of plumbing can be installation, fitting those puzzle pieces together. Taking care of vehicles, huge opportunity for young people today. I met with someone who's very high up in the electric vehicle sector, and she was explaining how concerned she is about the lack of, let's call them broadly, mechanics who can fix a Tesla or similar EV electric vehicle. She pointed out that you can't take a Tesla back to any mechanic that you drive by. To be repaired, it has to be brought back to Tesla or a certified technician. And she said there aren't nearly enough of them out there. There is a serious demand for those who will take care of the vehicles of the future, the truck and coach, those larger vehicles as they become electrified, and of course, the regular size vehicles, automotive service technicians of the future. Driving big vehicles, how often do you see a young woman behind the wheel of a bulldozer? They exist. It was hard to find, but here's Larissa. She carves a path, likes working outdoors. Same with Ben, who's a mobile crane operator. Look how young they are. They work outdoors, they enjoy it, they're very well paid, and they get to operate in the real world, the toys that they used to play with in the sandbox as kids. And now they are certified to operate the actual live versions. And again, they see the results of the work immediately, very satisfied in their careers. Using special tools, trim carpenters put fine finishing into homes when they're near completion. Tool and die makers make specialized parts for use in other parts and machines. A lot of precision required there, hand-eye coordination. Coordinating projects, project managers and project coordinators. I call these skilled trades adjacent careers. They work alongside skilled tradespeople, a little bit of indoors, outdoors. And also, finally, rather supervising people. Skilled tradespeople can get promoted, move into supervisory roles. They can also be asked to move into health and safety roles. They also may, later in life, like Mr. Bombacco and Mr. Pope, enter into the education sector. So you will in the future meet people who have some skilled trades experience in their backgrounds and are now teachers and professors. How is that for movement within skilled trades and excellent opportunities? So now there are many, many examples I've given you, everyone. How do you get started? A skilled trade starts with an apprenticeship. You saw that word a few times. You heard that word. That's great. Skilled trades apprenticeship is when you learn a trade with the support from a mentor. Okay, you learn with support from a mentor. And also, huge bonus that many people aren't aware of is that one can get paid while working and while going to class. That is through a registered apprenticeship. And I have met young people where that is the case as early as high school. For some, as a registered apprentice in high school, they're already getting paid when they're going to their classes and when they're getting trained. And you're thinking, how do I get an apprenticeship? Mr. Pope and Mr. Bambako could help answer some of those questions. But I do also want you to hear from two young people, just letting you know that you do have teacher support when you are on an apprenticeship. So I'm going to play you a few clips today, not too many, but this is one that I believe I shared a few weeks ago. I just wanted to share it again in case any students didn't see it. Here we go. Hear from two young people in high school on their apprenticeships, letting you know that they're being supported by their teachers.
I secured my co-op placement by talking to my co-op teacher, Mr. Polillo, and expressing I wanted to try a career in the trades. He brought me to the owner, Kyle, and he gave me an interview and then brought me onto Arc Electrical. Mr. Polillo supported me during my placement by checking on me, making sure that I was okay. He does visits with us just to make sure that we're safe and happy with our placements, and he made sure that this was the right choice for me.
My co-op teacher supported me by always staying in contact with me, especially throughout the first few weeks of the co-op, making sure that I enjoyed it and that it was something I wanted to do, as well as she also texted me throughout the co-op to let me know that if I wasn't enjoying it, there are other options that I can explore.
Right, so I hope you heard. So Kia, electrician apprentice, and Brock here, he's a marine engine technician apprentice. Brock at the end said, if I didn't like something, I could basically try something else. That's also the point of the OYAP program, to try out a skilled trade. All right, everyone. So let's jump in now to those 5 great reasons for pursuing a career in the skilled trades. But before I touch on each one, I'm just also going to tell you that young workers today, they're hardworking in general, right? They want to make a difference. They're good people. And I'm talking about young people in all kinds of careers. But there's also a reality that young workers today, and students, you should pay attention to this, but parents as well. The evidence is there. They are reporting being more lost, more stressed, more tired, more worried, and also, unfortunately, dealing with serious debt. And these are all things that I think are worthwhile in considering what the skilled trades has to offer, because I'm going to show you how each of these serious concerns among young workers generally today in all kinds of jobs are addressed by skilled trades careers. So let's start off with this fact that more and more people are reporting kind of feeling lost. And actually, it's not that surprising. You pick up your device and you just have an exposure to everything that's happening in the world. And when you have so many options, so many choices, you sort of feel like you are sort of spinning. Where do I land? How am I going to make a difference in this world? What are the opportunities for me? How will I make a contribution? And sometimes there's this real yearning to just focus on something, to specialize. And what's great, one common pattern among young people that I've interviewed all across the province, including in Waterloo region, is they specialize in something. Young people in skilled trades, some as early as high school, think about it, decided to pursue excellence in a particular area, to get really good at something. Right? And to be better than their peers at it. That's the goal. And I think that's really special. And I think really how many young people can say that they're as better than anyone else their age at a particular task, having that specialization. It's also an application, everyone, of something called balanced intelligence. And I just want to spend a moment on this because, and the parents, if you're listening, please hear me too. Let's just say a clean definition of intelligence, okay? Intelligence is the ability to see patterns and to make predictions. If anyone takes an IQ test, you're going to see very quickly that it's just pattern recognition. You're going to be shown a series of a sequence, and you're going to be asked, what comes next in the sequence A, B, C, or D? It's pattern recognition. And we tend to celebrate those who see more patterns in words, history, numbers. We say, oh, the academic types, they're the smart ones in society. Everybody, they are smart, but there are people who see patterns. out in the world, the types of patterns, to be honest, that many who are maybe academically inclined don't see or don't see as easily. How do you, for example, get water from very far away and somehow bring it into an entire community and into individual homes and other types of buildings and rooms within all of those structures and make it clean at the same time? How do you figure that out? How do you build roads and bridges across different terrain and make it last over different weather patterns so that we can see each other face to face, so that we can have an economy? Who's figuring out those patterns? How does the electrical grid work, without which we'd be very miserable very quickly? How do you take ingredients that are so separate and somehow fuse them together to make something delicious and nutritious? Those kinds of patterns. How do you cut hair properly? How do you layer hair, right? Hands-on learning, solving problems and helping people out in the real world. Balanced intelligence, just as important. Sometimes, arguably, even more important, especially in a crisis, right? Than so-called academic intelligence. But the point is to see them both as equally important and valued. Some people just lean towards seeing patterns out in the world rather than just say on paper and reading and memorizing and repeating. Everyone, here's another challenge that young people are facing. Unfortunately, it's serious debt. And we really should take this seriously, especially if you're a parent watching today. Here's a headline for you. I showed this the last time I addressed parents, but just one of the headlines here. Nearly half of all insolvencies last year were filed by millennials. Insolvency means you can't pay your bills anymore on time. Not good news. What's driving these insolvencies? Student debt, and of course, mortgages. Trying to pay a mortgage while also pay back student debt. Not a good combination. Average student debt at graduation in Ontario, as you follow on the screen, from college is $16,500. Average debt from university in Ontario, $30,000. And more than half of Ontario post-secondary graduates will have some form of serious tuition debt. And you know what? They'll deal with it somehow. They'll live at home longer with their parents, longer than their parents were expecting to do in many cases. And there will be a big celebration when people eventually pay off the student debt. Everyone, there is another path. In addition to college and university, it's been there for a long time, actually. It's just as credible, legitimate, and available. And it's an apprenticeship. And skilled tradespeople, also through an apprenticeship, get paid while learning through a registered apprenticeship. I want you to hear in this next clip from 3 young people who are all in high school and are talking to me, and they are being paid. They're registered apprenticeships, and they're all from Ontario in an OYAP program. Okay, this is the second clip I'm going to show you.
I started as a registered apprentice in grade 11. I sat down with my co-op teacher and my employer, told them I'd like to pursue it as a career, and they helped me get it started.
While I was in grade 12 and was working at Aurelia Volkswagen for my co-op placement, I decided that was a career field that I'd like to enter. I let my co-op teacher know and the shop foreman know that I was interested in becoming an automotive service technician. They let me know that I would have to get set up with our OYAP coordinator. Once the paperwork was done, I was signed up as an apprentice before I graduated high school.
My advice to all students looking to go into the trades is to try as many trades as possible. It's hard work, but it's very rewarding. You also have the opportunity to earn money while learning.
Excellent, everyone. Love hearing from people who are, if you're a student, pretty close in age to you. I hear things like I started earning when I was 17. Also, Mr. Bumbaco and Mr. Pope can maybe talk, if you have questions about that. You get opportunities to have travel allowances. If your apprenticeship includes some travel, cash, money after completing level 1 of an apprenticeship, level 2, depending on the apprenticeship, even getting paid to graduate. Any parents here watching? How many, when you graduated from your post-secondary, were you handed a check? Or instead, did you write the check, right? You can get paid for graduating from an apprenticeship. And everyone, I often hear you can help support your family, even at an early age, by earning at a young age. This is also, I think, a moment where I will just remind everyone that there is a Q&A. There's a few questions I can certainly see already popping up on my end, but take advantage of that Q&A if you have a question for me, and especially also a regional question, a Kitchener-Waterloo question. Put it in the Q&A if it's skilled trades related. So that tuition fee for a registered apprenticeship that doesn't require college and university is around just $400 per calendar year. Can you believe it? Many people were not aware of that. Certainly some parents are watching, you didn't hear me say this before, are going, I wish I knew about this, or I wish I had a family member I could have told about this. I'm really happy that you have this information, everybody. What I don't hear from young people who are in the skilled trades is that they have any kind of crushing student debt or any student debt at all. That is a wonderful feeling to be able to say that, in addition to being saying that they're in full-time careers. Tired. Everybody's tired, actually, among all age groups. And tired is also, it has to do with not just staying up late and watching a lot of streaming. That's affecting all of us of all ages. There's so much good content. We're staying up later and our bedtimes are being extended, but our wake up times are the same. And we're all walking around, you could say, like zombies. We're out of sleep. But tired also is just happens when you are sitting for long periods of time. And we are seeing that among many young workers as more and more jobs go sort of online and require people to be seated in front of a computer. Think about that. Anyone here, maybe you know someone who has a job where they're seated for 8 or 9 hours a day. At the end of 9 hours, do they feel like they want to take on the world, like they've been recharging their batteries? Or do they feel like they are more sluggish, right? And more tired? This is often the case, so I think it's a great benefit, a third reason to pursue a career in the skilled trades, to think about it, is you get to be active. You get to have movement and activity in your career. I see this all the time with young people across Ontario. You hear things like, I use my body and mind. Okay, my days are never boring. There's so much variety. You get to see the product of your work right away. Very common points that I hear from young people in skilled trades. They get to stay active and be healthy as a result. I want you to hear just from some young people talking about the benefits they get of kind of working with their hands, and also, in my opinion, applying some of that balanced intelligence. This is the final clip I'm going to show you. Here we go.
The thing I like most about being an apprentice is you get to do both. You not only get to stand back and watch the mechanics, but you also get to be with them. You get to stand beside the mechanic and learn how they're doing it. You get to learn information that isn't in your textbook. You get to learn hands-on material that no one can teach you but a mechanic.
One interesting thing about the trades is the variety of work that I get to do, from the type of material I work on, the tools I use, or the jobs I'm doing. Every day there's something different, and I'm always working on something new.
All right. I hope everyone that came through clearly for most of you. A few little hiccups there. That's Google Slides for you. But I'll just emphasize what was said at the end by Connor at the end. Every day there's something different. Every day there's something new. A great reason to keep the skilled trades on the table. Worry, anxiety is up. I mean, how could it not be? We have something called artificial intelligence disrupting many types of careers. I think this is worthwhile to show all you students. I showed it to parents a few weeks ago. Look at how skilled tradespeople versus the rest of Canada responded to them statements about work. Most days I often feel like put in an honest day's work. 73% of tradespeople say true for me, compared to 66%, just 2/3 of Canadians in other jobs. My work gives me a sense of success and achievement. More than 2/3 of tradespeople say true for me, compared to less than half of Canadians in other jobs. I often have fun at work. 6% to 43%. Look at the bottom, everybody. Nowadays, I often feel worried. Just 17% of workers in skilled trades say true for me, compared to 42% of Canadians in other types of jobs. Why are skilled tradespeople 3 times less likely to be worried or anxious about the future when it comes to their work? I think you know, skilled tradespeople have something called skills security. Maybe you were going to say job security, but I take it a step further, skills security. Why? Because water is water, wood is wood, ingredients are ingredients, a ball bearing is a ball bearing, electricity is electricity. One can work with these materials across different provinces, even different countries, even among different languages, be adapting more easily, maybe with someone with no specialization or a specialization that when it comes down to it, isn't as useful in a crisis. When it comes down to it, we saw this during pandemics, people who are having a talent, a skill that people really value and need will get well compensated and be considered essential during the most dire of times. Skills security, a great reason. Okay, I help make Canada's businesses and institutions modern and safe. I contribute to the wellness of my community. Skills you develop are highly transferable. A trade is portable. Lastly, stress levels are up. Everybody's stress levels are up. What do you think is causing the stress? As one thing goes up, so does stress levels. What do you think it is? It might not be what you think, but it's right in front of you. It's our devices. We have never been spending more time on our devices. Our brains, simply put, are not used to the constant and steady stream of distractions, notifications, and disruptions that our devices bring. It is, in my opinion, a luxury to be able to be spending some parts of our day when you are not on your phone. And I hear that from skilled tradespeople all the time. They have work-life balance. I'm not on my phone all day. I can manage my time for my convenience. Heck, I'm usually home by 5 and no one is summoning me back to work via internet connected device in the evening, dinner time, on the weekend, on vacation. Doesn't happen. Skilled tradespeople have that separation. It's great for mental health. I cannot emphasize that enough. So if the trades are so great, everybody, why is there a shortage? Well, I'll give you 3 quick reasons and then I'm finished. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Pope and Mr. Bumbaco. One, I think we have a narrow perception. People, when they maybe just walk by a construction site, we think that's the extent of skilled trades because it's very common. It's in our face when we drive or we walk around a neighborhood. And maybe they're, depending on what we see, we don't think that there's much there in terms of variety and opportunity. We don't spend enough time. We kind of zip on by. I hope today I've widened your perception, right? And you know that there are so many different kinds of skilled trades, and that skilled trades, in contrast to being just for men, are also for young women as well. Parents often, as well-intended as they are tempted to say, if you want a good job, go to university. And there's a very good reason for this. Parents, from a perspective of their emotions that they feel toward their kids, parents want to protect their kids. That's the primary emotion between a parent and a child. And you want to protect your kids. What you end up doing is you give them the best information that you have. And for many parents, it still just happens to be an association with university as being the path to a good job. But where they're brushing up against some reality is in that question that I showed you at the beginning. What makes a good job? And parents, yeah. And if you're watching, parents, if you missed it at the beginning, Ontario parents say a good job is one, above all, where you make good pay and it's fulfilling. What you don't see is university on this slide. What you don't see is college or frankly apprenticeship. What you don't see is any specific job. In the end, a good job is one you get paid well and it's fulfilling. And if you ask parents what they consider to be very important for their kids, they will tell you, of course, they want their kids to be happy, but they also consider it very important to have work-life balance, to have good health benefits, to have a job where you stay healthy and active, and have a job that's secure. Anyone who knows anything, even a little bit about skilled tradespeople, you know that they have all of these things. They've checked every box. Okay? And most did not have to go to university to achieve these benefits. Lastly, work smarter, not harder. Let's put that aside. I know it rhymes. I know it sounds cool to say, but if you really think about it, the people that you actually admire in life are people who are those who work hard. Think about maybe it's a business person, maybe an activist, maybe it's a writer, a musician, whoever you had a poster of, whoever you admire, whoever you and others look up to. One of the primary qualities is they didn't work smarter, not harder. They did both, right? They worked smarter and harder. We actually really value hardworking people in our society. And excellence then in young people in skilled trades, by working smarter and harder, they're climbing the ladder, they're starting their own businesses, they're hiring people. And I can tell you, students and parents, the young people I've met time and time again are making their parents extremely proud. And some of them, yes, had some hesitation about their child's decision to enter the trades, primarily because they didn't understand the trades or they had the narrow perception. All that is behind them now when they see their young people flourishing. And I can't help but restate not having any student debt. So 5 great reasons to pursue a career in the skilled trades, everybody, all on one screen, specialize in something, to earn while learning, okay, whoopsie, stay active at work, have skill security, and of course, enjoy work-life balance, whether it's motive power, services, industrial or construction skilled trades. They can take a tech class in high school, take the specialist high skills majors program, dual credit, can ask a guidance counselor about those in high school. Star of the show today, I mentioned it many times, the OYAP program, Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. You have your local champions here, Mr. Bambako and Mr. Pope from Waterloo Catholic and Waterloo Region. And I'm going to hand it over to them to say a little bit more. But just before that, youtube.com/job talks, as promised. It's where you can get access to all the videos that I produced. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. Mr. Pope, Mr. Bambako, over to you. Or maybe Jennifer first.
That's okay. Hi. Thank you, John. That was a lot of amazing information about the benefits of a career in the skilled trades. So now you're probably wondering, what can I do with all that information? How can I actually experience the skilled trades and see if it's for me? So one option is the amazing opportunity that John referred to, is the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, which we are now going to hear about directly from our local school board reps. And they are dedicated to helping students plan their futures in the skilled trades locally. So I'm going to turn it over to Leonard Bambako, Student Achievement Consultant with Waterloo Catholic District School Board, and David Pope, OYAP Coordinator with Waterloo Region District School Board. And they're going to share a little bit more about how OYAP works in their boards. We are going to do questions after this, so please keep the questions coming. We've had some good ones, and we will be answering those after Dave and Lenny are done. I'll let you take over. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. My name is Mr. Bambako. I am the OYAP consultant, co-op consultant, tech consultant for the Waterloo Catholic District School Board. So there's a lot of interwoven responsibilities I have, all related to the skilled trades. A couple things I just want to chat with first before we get into the OYAP piece. Students that are out there, families, how did you find your current work in high school? As a high school student, how would you find your current work? And number 2, how did you secure that work? So normally I would ask a class this, and we'd have hands put up, and we'll answer from the audience. But knowing that, I just want you to think inside your head right now and see, how would you find your current work being in high school, and how would you secure that work? And 2 words that really come out, and it does create a little bit of anxiety there, is, well, I'm looking for work, I need a network. Where do I go to network? Well, if you're in high school, it's probably your parents, probably close friends at lunch, and you found that job in retail, or you found that job at fast food place, or you found that job on weekends because of a friend that you overheard was hiring, that place was hiring, and you put a resume in. So that was your networking. That was your small group of people, your influencers, that allowed you to give you that information to go and apply. Maybe it was through guidance if they were posting some part-time job opportunities. How did you secure that job? Well, you probably went to your same influencers to teach you some negotiating skills, or to clean up your cover letter and your resume, or maybe you took a co-op class, a careers class, and you learned how to do proper interviewing skills and so on. So the networking and negotiating skills are very small in your area as far as who's going to help you with that. When we're talking about these great big skilled trades and all the wonderful resources that are connected to it, and securing lifelong, happy, amazing, every adjective that Mr. Callegher has talked about, employment, that's so positive, life fulfilling, working with your hands, being outside, high degree of happiness, and they're well-paying jobs. Well, those jobs, you need a little bit of help. You need a lot of help, and you need to network. And the solution to that networking to start a life or career in the skilled trades is through co-op. And all OYAP is a big fancy word. It's co-op in grade 11 and grade 12. Actually, you can start it if you're 15 years of age and you're 14 credits in the summer. If your school board offers summer co-op, right after grade 10. But you can explore that. And why is that so great? Well, you get the support of a co-op teacher. You get the support of the students in the class, all the knowledge from the co-op teacher. They're well networked. They know most of the placements in the region, especially around their school, that's in walking distance for you, and they can really help you polish your networking skills, your negotiating skills, and secure that safe working environment in the skilled trades. Because really what you want to do is you want to try before you commit or buy. And the company wants to do the same thing, right? So a lot of us don't have that luxury to have someone working maybe in the skilled trades or having those big manufacturing corporate connections, but your high school co-op teachers do. And that's something that OYAP offers, right? So experience the skilled trades, do it in high school. You try a course in grade 9, grade 10, try a course in grade 11, make those connections with your high school co-op, high school tech teacher. When you do that, they'll open up some connections for you as well. So when you get the most immersive learning experience through co-op, where you earn 2 credits and you try out a trade, that can lead into some really promising, high-paying part-time work. And yes, before you graduate, you can actually start your apprenticeship. There's a good connection in co-op between the student and the employer is looking for work, and the students, like, you can actually start your apprenticeship right during co-op. So that's a plus as well. You can start earning some placement hours, because you'll need that for your apprenticeship. And also there's other accelerated opportunities. If you do this and get all your ducks in a row early enough, you could go to trade school before you graduate as well. And again, those are awesome opportunities. But it all starts with your connection to a co-op teacher, and even before that, a connection to your tech teacher that can help you share all the great things about the trade and so on. So your high schools have these wonderful facilities that I encourage you to try, encourage you to work on. Let's say co-op isn't on your table right now because you can't timetable it properly. There is options after. They're costlier options. Conestoga College and other colleges have wonderful programs that may fit your current situation. And you can go into one of their pre-apprenticeship programs and hope to get into co-op. There's a co-op placement, connect with other professors and teachers there that have connections to the community. Again, you're doing this after high school. And a lot of students actually, believe it or not, are going this route after university and after college with their diplomas, and not having a hard time finding high-paying work or consistent work from their high school university degree, and they're going back into a trade school kind of diploma program at college. Something you can try to avoid that. I say starting and exploring a skilled trade, even starting an apprenticeship, should be your first career you commit to or consider while you do other things. And OYAP is that solution for you that will guide you along the way. So again, I encourage you to commit to a tech course, find something you like, try before you buy, and get yourself out there within the community. Because if you don't do this and you can't get into and it's too late for you to go into a college program, or maybe you're in between co-op, you have to pound the pavement yourself and actually hand out resumes and do a lot of that legwork on yourself. In the end, you need to be connected to an employer, and I encourage you to tap into co-op to help you with those networking connections. At this point, I'll pass it over to Mr. Pope, or if there's a question from the facilitator that needs to be answered, we'll be more than happy to answer the question.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick little talk first. So thank you, Mr. Bambacco, and I'll just kind of tack on to that a little bit. So as you mentioned, is obviously in grade 9 or 10, it's great to take tech courses. So taking tech courses helps you build some of your hands-on skills, even if it's not 100% related to the trade that you're interested in. It's again working with different tools and materials and building up that experience. And again, that co-op component is super important, where you can potentially start an apprenticeship while you're doing your co-op placement. You're actually making industry connections. And the one thing I like to always say is you get to try a career before you buy a career. So rather than spending a whole lot of time and money after secondary school and on something that you haven't tried yet, is trying it while you're in high school while it's free. Well, you can see if it's something you're interested in before you invest a lot of time and money in it. So just very quick, post-secondary options. So obviously in high school, so in grade 11 or 12, or even 12 plus, taking co-op is the best, where you actually get to try that career and try it while it's free. Post-secondary, the most common pathway into the trades is direct marketing. So contacting local, either it's tradespeople or different companies that are hiring or looking for apprentices, making that connection with them and marketing yourself, dropping off a resume and talking to them. Number 2 would be pre-apprenticeship or college programs. And I only recommend that for those that want more practice before they do. But as Mr. Bambacco said, the sooner you start an apprenticeship, the better. So if you go to college or a pre-apprenticeship program, in a lot of cases, you're going to spend a lot of money on that program. So you're racking up student debt before you start an apprenticeship. If you can, just start your apprenticeship first, unless you want to practice more before you go do. And then the very last one is trade unions. There's another one too, but trade unions. So there's multiple trade unions around. So there's electrical, there's plumbing, there's sheet metal, there's many different trade unions around, which are a great option as well. And they normally have multiple intake programs throughout the year. And then the last one, which is kind of new, it's kind of like a trade union for non-unionized placements. They're called group sponsors. So a good example would be Support Ontario Youth or Merit Ontario. They are called group sponsors, and they intake multiple apprentices from different trades, and they actually work with non-unionized companies to facilitate getting apprentices. So there's many different options out there. And I think that's all I'm going to say for this. All I'm going to say is while you're in high school, use the resources that are available to you. So my blueprint is available through Waterloo Catholic and Waterloo Region District School Board. And then so is Edge Factor. So edgefactor.com, I'll post a link in the chat. It's like Netflix for career videos. There's many, many videos on there that are accessible to our high school students to check out and research multiple careers. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much for that great information, Dave and Lenny. I'm going to get into the questions now. We have quite a few, so we're going to do our best to get through as many as we can. But the first question was, someone's asking about the pre-apprenticeship program at the Cambridge Reuters campus, the Skilled Trades College on Cherry Blossom Road, and would you recommend that program? For example, intro to electrician is the question.
Sure, I'll answer that one. So whether it's at like Conestoga College or it might be the program that's called Skilled Trades College Ontario, Skilled Trades College of Canada. Again, unless you want more practice before you do, then it might not be the option for you. If you've already done a co-op in high school, you've already made industry connections, why spend a bunch of money before you go do? So I'm looking at the Skilled Trade College of Canada, and their tuition is roughly about $13,000. And that's for a 12-week program. So you're going to rack up $13,000 in debt, and you still don't have a job at the end of it. So unless that's something you want more practice, you want to maybe learn in a classroom before you go do, then that might be an option. But the sooner you get an apprenticeship, the better.
Yes. And just to add on to that, there are companies that are hiring. And I use the word pound the pavement and networking. Get yourself out there. There are Employment Service Ontario opportunities for you to explore. Apprenticesearch.com. I know Dave and I use that often. We share that with students, where that's a place where prospective employees can upload their cover letter and resume. And there's employers who upload a profile and they try to do a match for you. There's lots of programs out there spending $13,000 when we know companies out there hiring and paying you off the bat. Even as a laborer, they want to see you work. So the sooner you can get on a job site, on a manufacturing facility, or in a kitchen, and or in a transportation facility, and doing all those jobs, you can do certain aspects of that job until you're an apprentice, where where the other more safety reliant competencies and tasks can only be done with as an apprentice. You can do all that and network in the meantime and get paid a lot of money. Get paid a lot of money. So college is great. College is great for students if that fits your current living situation, your current situation. They offer a lot of support, safety of a classroom, structure of a classroom, safety of a safe environment to learn in. But at the end, to start an apprenticeship, you must have an employer.
Jen, you're
Sorry.
muted. No,
Sorry. Someone's asking about what type of exposure is available in the high schools right now for courses for students to become aware of different trades and try them, other than co-op.
you want to answer that one, Lenny, or would you like me to do it?
I'll leave that to you.
Okay, so every high school has a different set of offerings for, well, say, technological studies. So it depends on the facilities they have, and then even for co-op placements. So I will say in high school, it's like taking as many tech courses as possible is your best way to get experience. It may not be 100% related to every single trade, but there will be some that are similar, and you can at least gain skills that relate to the trade you're interested in. And then there's one other thing I'll add is there's a partnership between Waterloo Catholic and Waterloo Public as well. We have trade union programs. So we have partnerships with some of our local trade unions that also give you, it's part of co-op again, but it gives you some other really fantastic experiences and options out there that you can find out through your guidance counselor.
And they're also posted in the links online here for you to get more information.
And I know my son, who's in grade 10 now, he has had a chance to take 2 different classes at his high school, and both classes were 2 different trades that he could like kind of try. So that's been really great. Personally, I know that. So I had a question about the eligibility for entering an apprenticeship with OYAP, if it is only open to Canadian residents or how that works. So if someone could just give us that answer, I'd appreciate it.
In order, the government, so to start OYAP, you need to, and to explore the trade, you need to be eligible to work in Canada. So all depends on the work visa as far as that's concerned. I know we collect that on permanent residency and Canadian citizenship, part of the OYAP application. And you have to have a SIN number to start any apprenticeship, at least in the province of Ontario. So if you're coming on a work permit or work visa, I think you go to the employer and have that conversation with the employer, and the employer will guide you through that process. If you want to start an apprenticeship, there'll be a journey person, obviously, on the work site, and that journey person is the connection to the ministry who kind of oversees the apprenticeship program. They can make that phone call and do those inquiries for you. But I know for sure, 100%, you have to have a SIN number in order to start your apprenticeship here in the province of Ontario.
Thank you. I've had 2 questions actually from different people saying that they're trying to get apprenticeships for their children and they're having a hard time. So I'm just curious if you have any insight that you could share about that.
Sure. Depending on the trade, there's many different options out there. So kind of as I mentioned before, there's trade unions, there is the group sponsors, there's, could be through college, it could be direct marketing. There's many different options out there. I did just put a link in the chat to Employment Ontario offices. So there's Lutherwood and there's Cambridge Career Connections are 2 good examples within our region. They actually have career counselors that they can meet with anybody of any age, and they can help with resume, they can help with making some industry connections and things of that nature. It's almost like having a guidance counselor after high school. So that's another great option. But if somebody's been waiting 2 years, I don't know if they are working with an employer as a general laborer and they're just kind of being strung along, and there's other options out there. So again, looking for those group sponsors, trade unions, again, looking at different employers and seeing what else is available if you're not getting signed.
Great. Okay, I think we are going to wrap it up. We're already over time. I really appreciate all the great questions that we've had. So thank you. And if we didn't get to your question, please feel free to follow any of the many links that are being shared, or also you can get in touch with Dave or Lenny directly at the school boards. But I just want to thank Jon and Lenny and Dave for sharing all of your experience and insight this evening about the skilled trades. We hope that everyone has learned a lot of information tonight that you can now take and put towards learning more about opportunities to explore. We are going to be sending out a link in 2 days to everyone who attended. It will include a short survey we'd love for you to fill out for our feedback. And also it will include a link to this recording. We are recording this and it will be on our YouTube channel. So if you know someone who missed it, please send them there and they can watch it again. I just want to do one last plug for the Business and Education Partnership. We are running many free youth career events in the next few months, so please visit our website and check out what's coming. We do have an event on March 5th at the library, Packing Your Bags for Career Success. It's a career panel with 5 individuals that you'll be able to hear their stories and ask them questions as well. And we have our 2 big events are the career expos happening in May, one in Cambridge and one in Kitchener. Those are really great events to come out and explore all kinds of career opportunities under one roof. So thank you to both school boards for your support. Thank you to Jon from Job Talks. This wraps up this evening's event, and I want to thank everyone for their participation, and have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.